Hi, I'm Marcus,
Hey, it's Leslie.
and this is Tier 1 Jank. We're gonna have a little matchup for you. Today we have Esper Control versus Grixis Control, I guess. Is that what you'd call it,
It's
Leslie?
kind of mid-range, I'd say.
They're both standard decks. We already resolved mulligans and did a die roll, and I'll be going first. So we'll go ahead and get started. We did deck text for these earlier, so if you want to see what's in the decks, you can go ahead and check those videos out. I will play a Fetid Pools and pass.
Okay. I'm going to go with a mountain, and I'll play a Get You Lava Runner. And pass.
Tap, draw. I'll play an island and pass.
A Dragon Skull Summit. And I will go ahead and come in for one.
Okay, I will take one.
Yep. And second main, play a Viashino Pyromancer.
I will syncopate for
Okay, so we're going to exile.
We did not do our sideboards on the deck text, so we might show those after the first game.
I'm going to pass too.
Tap, draw. Play another island, and I'll pass.
Got a swamp, and I'll come in for one.
I'll take one.
Yeah. Second main. I need a gutter snipe out here.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Let's go over here. I'll play a detection tower, and I'll pass. I was hoping I'd draw some other stuff.
Alright, let's do a combat.
Okay.
Okay, take one. And I will pass.
End step. Glimmer of Genius.
Okay.
Square two. We're not dealing with any other energy, so I'm not going to bother to keep track of that. I'm going to top this one, bottom this one, draw two, untap, draw, play a plains.
A plain old plains. I was looking at the one that I got at the Grand Prix,
Pass.
and they feel different. Did you feel yours?
No.
It's like kind of has like a texture to it. It's kind of cool.
Dogs are being noisy in the background.
Alright. And I'll combat.
No blocks.
Okay.
Take one.
Yep. I'll pass.
End step.
Okay.
Going to Glimmer again.
Okay.
Spread two. Going to bottom both. Draw two. Untap. Draw. Slated Chapel.
So isolated, all on its own.
And I'll pass.
End step. Second.
Okay.
And end step. I'll lightning strike you. Trigger. So right now, unless he counters this will be 5 damage. 3 from the lightning strike, 2 from gutter snipes. That 2 damage from gutter snipes is going to go through unless somehow he can stop that trigger.
I think I'm going to end up taking that, but before you do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and cast Vraska's Contempt at the gutter snipe.
So you're doing it in response to this?
Yeah.
So actually, I think you'll take the 3, but since he'll be gone before that resolves, you won't have to take the 2.
No, the trigger is when you cast it, so even though it still goes through. The trigger goes on the stack.
Okay, if you say
even
so.
though he's removed.
Because it says he deals the damage.
I understand that. Marionette Master also says that, but
Okay. So taking 3 and 5, and I actually have to exile him. I apologize.
so I'm gonna end up 3 down because I'm gaining 2 as well.
Yes.
And then it'll be your turn.
Alright. So I only have 1 instant in my graveyard right now. I will shock you for 2.
I will take 2.
And now I have 2, so I'm going to swing in for 2.
And another 2.
And I pass. I really need an island out here. Some kind of blue.
One tap. Draw. Play Drown Catacomb. And I think while you don't have any blue or anything to do about it, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Approach.
Okay.
So that'll give me 7 more.
Yeah, that really sucks for me.
And this will go 7 down.
And I like to have a die out then, just to help me with remembering where you've got that at.
And then I will pass.
Alright. Well, this isn't looking so hot. I will come in for 2.
I will take 2.
And I pass.
Okay, untap. Draw. Play Glacial Fortress.
So you drew that 1, so you got 6 more to go before you're hitting that.
And I will pass.
I really get scared when you do that Approach of the Second Sun and you have your Search for Escanta out already flipped. I'll come in for 2.
I'll take 2.
I played a Memorial to Folly, and I will pass. Still don't have any islands out to do anything.
End step.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flash in Torrential Gearhawk.
Okay.
I will target Glimmer of Genius.
Okay.
To exile. So I'm gonna scry 2, draw 2. I will bottom both of these. Draw 2. Untap. Draw. Play another Catacomb.
I haven't been keeping track of your draws.
I want to attack, but I'm afraid to put myself any lower with the amount of burn you can do. And you can get Gutter Snipe back.
My Gutter Snipe is actually exiled,
Oh, that's
though.
right.
In a real tournament, I would not have reminded you of
I
that.
think I'm gonna go ahead and attack.
Alright, so I have to take 5.
6. Oh yeah, 5. Sorry. Go ahead.
Alright. Finally. Alright, I think I will. Let's see. I think I'll pass.
I think on your end step, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put Vraska's Contempt on the stack, targeting your get to lava runner, and then 4 past priority. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll cast Spell Swindle, targeting my Vraska's Contempt.
Okay, in response, I'm going to opt.
Okay.
So you're going to have 4 treasures from your Spell Swindle on your own Vraska's Contempt, but I get to keep my Get to You Lava Runner then. I'm going to go ahead and leave this on top and draw it. And that's fine.
Okay, so Spell Swindle, my own Vraska's Contempt. Its mana cost is 4, so I'll get 4 treasures. And
I feel like I probably should have dug a little bit.
then we'll go to my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Untap. Draw. I drew the Approach of the Second Sun, but rather try a different thing, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll cast Marionette Master.
Yep, and I totally played this wrong. Okay.
And I will choose +1/+1 counters.
Yep.
So she'll be a 4/6. And I will sacrifice a treasure for blue mana. 1 for black mana.
You're gonna drag it
cycle.
out, huh?
1 for white mana. And another 1 for blue.
And we probably should say too that
And if she was still alive, I would play Teferi, but
you don't have to sack the treasures to play cards. You can just sack them to add mana. Yeah, I totally should have either dug down to try to get to like a lightning strike or a wizard's lightning, or I should have saved my blue and kept my blink open so that I could blink her back to your hand.
and I could have just played the Approach there, but I wanted to show what the Spell Swindle into Marionette Master can do. And you notice there, I didn't even need a target of her spells to make that happen. I just targeted my own spell that was enough treasure that I needed and made it happen even though she wasn't casting the spell I needed her to. So sideboard as far as this deck, I have the Scarab God, the Eldest Reborn. We have 2 copies of Negate to go along with the 2 in the main board. 4 copies of Doomfall to help get rid of problem creatures like Carnage Tyrant if we can keep the rest of the board clean, or to get rid of cards in control matchups that we don't want in our hand. It's a pretty versatile card. It's about to rotate out as well as Gifted Aetherborn, which does a lot of work. In a lot of cases, it's a 2/3 Death Touch lifelink, so that comes in handy. It blocks Carnage Tyrant, taking it out while only losing 2 life in the process. So that's better than most creatures. We have 1 copy of Lost Legacy, just to take out some problem things. A copy of Shalai, and a copy of Sanguine Sacrament. And the reason that this is in here is mainly against things like Banefire, which Leslie runs, and I think should probably see more play than it does right now, but this will gain me twice X life. I could cast it in response to a Banefire, and while I can't counter it, I can mitigate what it's going to do by gaining, possibly as much as they're dealing to me, as well as gaining it again.
Yeah.
Leslie, do you want to go through yours?
So I have a couple different things in here. I'm actually pulling out a few things to add to this now. I have a Dire Fleet Poisoner. I like to bring this in when I just need to have something I can flash in to get rid of a threat. This is really nice for like Carnage Tyrants too. I'm also going to put in 2 Abrades because with that Marionette Master, what I want to do is be able to deal damage to her while her trigger is on the stack to either her Fabricate trigger to make the servos or the Power and Toughness. Because if I can get rid of her before he has some more artifacts out, then that's going to be less damage that he can do to me, or that she can do to me. I have a Doomfall in here, and I also have an Enigma Drake that I can bring in as an extra creature if I need to. I'm not going to this time. I have 2 Syncopates. I like to keep these in the sideboard for the same reason Marcus uses his main board, because of that exile effect. So if I have something that keeps coming back, I'll use this so that it's exiled instead of in the graveyard. I also have an Essence Scatter. I have a Duress, and I like to do that one along with the Doomfall a lot of times if I need to be able to get things out of people's hands. I also have 2 Sweltering Suns. I like these ones especially against a deck that is a little bit more aggro. Usually I can get that out, clear the board off. If I need to, I'll hold a Gutter Snipe in my hand, cast this, then get him out and start doing damage that way. I have a Gifted Aetherborn in case I need to do some life gain. And then my last 3 cards are actually Planeswalkers. So for this game, I'm actually going to put in Angrath because I want to try to get cards out of Marcus's hand while also doing some damage. And a lot of times I just use Angrath for that +1 ability. I also have a Nicol God Pharaoh. This one's nice if I know the game's going to go a little long and I need to be able to do some big damage all at once. And I have a Chandra in here as well. I've actually found that this Angrath helps me a lot more than Chandra does. It will do the exact same amount of damage with that +1, but it also gets that card out of my opponent's hand, which is a nice bonus. I don't think you said what you're putting in yours, so I think you might have a leg up now that I said what I'm putting into mine.
I might have just put it all in.
I gotta take stuff out of here still.
I don't really think there's anything in my sideboard that's bad in this matchup, and I didn't really design it that way, but that's just how it turns out. There's some matchups that I don't really want anything out of the sideboard for, but
I think this is actually one of the hardest parts for me. I still struggle sometimes with figuring out what to put in for sideboard, and I think that part's gotten easier, but what to take out sometimes is the tough part. I don't want to take anything out that's going to mess up the synergy stuff I've got going, and it can be kind of hard.
it's usually just whatever's doing the least work for you in this matchup.
Yeah. I think in this case, I'm going to go with my...
Or anything that would be a dead card.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go a little bit more control, though, and take out... Because you're not going to be, at least with the deck you're running right now, you're not going to be getting anything out turn 1, 2 that's going to really affect me damage-wise. So I think getting rid of the Ashino and Agidyo isn't that big a deal. I want to leave that hexproof in there.
You gonna take out the foil one?
Well, I mean, that was the first one I came to. I can swap it for you.
I really like this card too. I thought this was gonna see more standard play, and it didn't really. It might have when people were trying out pirates, but this is a 2/2 flash Death Touch. The last bit of text says it when it enters the battlefield, you can give a target attacking pirate you control +1/+1 and Death Touch till end of turn. That's not really gonna matter much unless you're actually running a pirate deck, but I think this is a good creature in itself. It's a bear that can flash in on your opponent's end step or during combat, and it has Death Touch. As long as it's not gonna, as long as it doesn't get removed, it's pretty much a 2-mana removal spell that has a body that could stick around. So I think that's a really good card.
I actually think I'm gonna do this dive down. I'm gonna focus more on getting your stuff not coming out than keeping mine on.
I was running that for a little while too. The only reason I run the Aetherborn over that, even though I like the flash, is the lifelink. It just matches against Carnage Tyrant better than the Direfleet Poisoner does, but I definitely like the flash on the Direfleet Poisoner. There's a lot of flash creatures coming out in this Guilds of Ravnica set too. I really like everything I've seen from the set. It's probably the one I've been most excited about since Ixalan. I mean, the last couple sets were bad, but I don't think there was anything that popped out as me as much.
Yeah, I do feel like this one is just like super exciting. It seems like too there's a lot of stuff in these ones that almost feels OP.
Maybe Assassin's Trophy.
Maybe. A couple others. I was really glad, I can't remember the name of it. What's the one that is very similar to Gonti's trigger? Skipping cuts.
Default Sanity, maybe?
Is
Something
it?
like that?
Something like that. Gonti is my favorite Magic card of all time, even though I haven't really been playing that long. It definitely made me want to keep playing, though.
I can't keep this.
I love when I can take my opponent's stuff and use it against them. I think I'll keep mine, though.
Yeah, I don't think that new card is quite as good as Gonti because you have to actually deal combat damage to a player to have the effect happen, but
Yeah.
it is a little bit cheaper.
I like that that one card can get multiple instances of
In
taking a card
theory,
from
but I
you.
think it's going to be such a removal target that it's not
Yeah.
going to always stick around long enough to even hit once.
It's true.
This is not much better, but I think I'll try it. I'm going to scry. I will leave that on top.
Okay, so I'll be up first. I'm gonna go with a Highland Lake. Pass.
Draw.
I have to admit, I feel like being on
Bishop
camera,
with
it's a little
pass.
harder to pay attention to what moves I should do next. Like the last game, I totally missed doing a cycle on an end step, and yeah, it was really bad.
Leslie specifically asked not to be put on camera at our game store. They sometimes do feature matches that are
Pass.
looked at kind of in a similar perspective as this, and she said, "Don't put me on there. I'll be too nervous to play."
Yeah. I just have gotten to the point where, like when you're the last match going and everyone's gathering around you, I've just gotten to the point where I don't have to ask everyone to sit down. On your end step, I'm going to shock you.
I will take two.
Okay. This isn't as bad, just because it's a little bit more casual though, so I'm going to go with a detection tower. And I'll play Gutter Snipe.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
I will play Field of Ruin.
Okay.
Doomfall. I'll choose that you exile a creature.
Really?
Yes.
Alright. He was doomed.
And then I will pass.
And let's go with an island. And I will play a gutter snipe.
Okay.
I'll pass.
No opt.
I wish.
Draw.
I like that little card too.
Play an island.
No, there she goes.
I am going to
You played an island. She didn't like that.
play 2. I'll sacrifice Field of Ruin. We'll blow up your Highland Lake.
Okay.
Bolt target a land.
I think I might go see if they need some help.
The dogs?
Yeah. They're coming down now. This comes in untapped, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And just for orientation wise, we are on my end stuff still, or you went?
No, this is during my main phase.
Okay.
And I did it during my main phase so I could get a second black and play a Gifted Aetherborn.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
Alright, I think I will. I don't like him being out, but I think I'm going to cycle.
Okay.
That's not going to help having 2 damage dealt to you and then you gain in 2 life. Let's get a swamp out here. And I think I will lightning strike your Aetherborn and a trigger off that gutter snipe.
I will take 2,
Yep.
and he dies.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
And since you are tapped, I'll go ahead and swing in for 2.
I'll take another 2.
And I pass.
Untap.
I feel like last game I needed islands and I had plenty of mountains out, and now I want more mountains out and too many islands.
I'm gonna play an irrigated farmland, and we'll go ahead and play another Aetherborn.
Alright.
And then I'll pass.
Put out a Memorial to Flowey. And I'm going to... I'm going to blink your Aetherborn.
Ooh.
Probably should have
So
kicked that too.
trigger.
Yep, trigger
and
from
then
gutter snipe.
while that's on the stack, I'm going to negate it.
Okay. And then I'll pass.
Draw. A drowned cat bone.
Drawing cats and combs over there.
I'll come in for 2.
Alright. What do I want to do here? No blocks.
Okay, so I'll gain 2. You'll lose 2.
Yep.
I'll play a Search for Escanta.
Okay.
And pass.
End step. I'll shock you.
Okay, so it's
Trigger there.
4 altogether.
I really should have kicked that blink earlier.
You got a lot of cards besides that one?
Pardon?
That's your only card?
Yeah. And I think I'll go ahead and get this Evolving Wilds out here.
Okay.
I don't think I have any creatures in here right now, so my Memorial to Folly's not helpful.
You're coming for 2?
I know you're gonna gain 2 life next time, but yeah.
Alright.
I'll pass.
Untap. trigger. I'll leave that on top. Draw. I am going to go ahead and use this now. I know you don't have any counters. And we'll Vraska's Contempt to Cutter Snipe.
Okay.
I'll gain 2 from that. And then go to combat.
Gain 2 and I
Gain
lose
another
2.
2. And I'll pass.
I'm getting a lot of this damage back. On your end step, I'm going to crack a Bobbing Wells.
Okay.
And I really need to get another mount now here, so let's do that. Play this Get You Lava Runner.
You got it.
Okay, there you go.
Alright, untap. Trigger. I'm gonna dump that. Draw it. And go to combat.
And I think I'll go ahead and block.
Okay, so he'll die, I'll gain 2.
Yep.
And I will pass.
Okay. Get a gutter snipe out here.
And a spell swindle.
Alright, so you got 3.
3 treasure.
And it's your go.
Untap. Trigger. I'm gonna leave that on top. We'll flip this. Draw. Go ahead and play Lamp Return. Go to combat.
Yep.
Gain 2, lose 2. And I'll pass.
End step. I'm going to activate Memorial to Folly.
I will disavow.
Okay. What is that? I'm going to use these 2 and I'll cycle.
Okay.
I'll pass.
End step, I will activate Escanta.
Okay.
I reveal to slap. Untap. Draw. I'm gonna go ahead and cast this now. Shall I?
Really? Okay.
Combat?
Yep.
It's 2. Oop, I gain 2.
Yeah, I lose 2.
And then I'll pass.
Okay.
So I now could not be a target for Banefire because Shalai says you planeswalkers that you control and other creatures you control have hexproof.
So basically,
Well, actually, you have a detection tower, so
yep. But basically everything you have except for like enchantments and stuff like that. Is that correct?
it's you planeswalkers and other creatures.
Okay. Yep.
It's your turn.
It's your turn.
All right. End step, I will activate Escanta.
Okay.
I will reveal Lost Legacy.
Okay.
I've already seen a couple gutter snipes.
And they're exiled now.
Seen any Banefires yet, so I'm thinking that's probably the better target.
I correct myself. 1 gutter snipe in my
I'm gonna
graveyard.
go ahead and cast it.
How much mana you have open?
A lot.
I think I'm
4,
going
5, 6, 7, 8.
to. I think I will negate your Lost Legacy.
You have 1 card in hand.
I have 1 card in hand.
Guessing it might be a Banefire too, so I'm gonna go ahead and disallow.
Okay. It's not a Banefire.
No.
But they're in here.
All
Is that what you want?
Yep.
You want to look through?
I don't need to see your deck.
Okay. Never know, I could have changed something up without you
You
knowing.
could have.
It's an option. I only have 2, so.
I did peek in on your deck text. So.
I mean, you kind of have seen this deck already, too.
Alright, after that,
Alright, so these are exiled.
I'm gonna.
Yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna move to combat and come in for 5.
Alright.
And I will gain 2. Back to 20.
That lovely Aetherborn of yours.
Now I'll pass.
Wow. Alright, I'll pass.
What happened to your burning desire to beat me?
I know, like,
I am gonna cycle.
I got a bunch of blue in my hand after that. I can't burn you with blue very easily.
Tap, draw, combat.
Although I am pretty excited. What's that? There's a new one that's a
No
blue and a
pass.
red coming out that does
The
some burn.
Goblin Electromancer.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't do burn. He makes all your instants and sorceries cost 1 less. He's not new, he's a reprint, but yeah, I believe you haven't seen him before.
Alright. What to do? Well, I don't think any of this is actually going to help me.
No.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to blink and kick your Shalai.
I will negate.
Yep, and now I have enough for the disallow. That's it. My hope was that I would get her off the board and then get like a lightning strike or something like that for Aetherborn. Didn't happen.
It's good playing with you, Leslie.
I think it's funny when you shake my hand.
And thank you for joining us, everyone.